if you're serious about making a mark in whatever industry, in whatever business, in whatever sector, in whatever segment you find yourselves, it is important that you understudy trends. There's no serious business today that if you don't understudy trends, I don't think you know what you're doing. Trends marketing is the key thing for you to differentiate yourself in today's enterprise. I've been talking about it for a long time and people are still struggling to get on board. You can't succeed if you don't know where your consumers are headed. It's important that you understudy trends behavior. What are the things driving businesses? What are the trends driving consumers? What are they up to this moment or the next? So that's what I'm going to be having a chat with you today. Let's talk strategy. Trends marketing is a huge thing right now in Africa. And that's because some key cultural influencers have been driving what's going to happen now and what's going to happen next. And it's important that every brand jump on this as well. It's important that you underpin the key drivers of what trend is to your business. For you to succeed, you need to have 3 key parameters that you need to study. The first one is hindsight. What are the things that have happened before? What is the history of your brand, of the market, of that sector, of that product, or whatever it is you want to find out? That's where research comes in. That's where data comes into play. You're looking for intelligence. You need to gather insights. You need to know what it is that will, create that underpinning distinction in your market. So that's fine. Do all of the traditional research. Go find out what's happened today. Do some focus group studies. That's fine, but it will never take you to tomorrow. It will never make you innovate. I've done it 1,000 times. It will only tell you what has happened in the past. You need to start from today. Insights. Why do I care about your product or service? Why should I listen to you? What is in it for me? That's what the consumer is always asking. So you need to study consumer trends. What are the things that customer cares about? Observe them. Look at what they say. Look at what they don't say. See how they behave based on different contexts. Alone, with their friends, with their family and loved ones. What are the different faces of that consumer in a day? What are the things that will make them behave differently? What will create them to have a different reaction? How do they watch TV? When do they get up? How do they brush their teeth, for Christ's sake? What do they drink? When do they drink? How do they drink it? What are the things happening around the environment? What are they moved by? What influences them? What do they aspire to become? And what are the key things that they always wake up to? You need to gather insights by understanding the consumer, but not just by asking them. They will tell you what they know because it's based on the 4 walls of their kingdom. They will tell you what they think you want to hear. They will tell you what they think they know. Not that they're lying to you, but if you observe someone closely, like the policeman would do, like the detective would do, there are various things the customer doesn't even know about themselves that you will see, that you can gather pin insights from. What trends help you does is like you're spotting a trend wave. Like when you go to the beach and the sea comes to shore and it brings all of the particles from the sea into the shore. And then it takes all of the debris and back inside. That's like a trend wave. You can understudy the trend wave, observe it, and say, what are the key things you can take from this trend and plug it and make it your own? Those are the things you can make to understudy the key things to drive your business. So whatever industry or sector you're in, understudy trends from the hindsight perspective, understudy trends from the insight perspective, and now it gets more interesting. The third part, there's hindsight, there's insight, and there's foresight. There's hindsight, there's insight, and there's foresight. So if I know what's happening in terms of that industry or that category, and I know what's happening with the consumer today based on socioeconomic factors, based on contextual relevance, based on how you've been communicating with them in the past. How do I make that intelligence actionable? How do I make that intelligence actionable? I have to plot my way to the future. I have to design the future. And that is where you create value for your customers. That's where value comes to bear for your own business, because it's a whole fresh new territory. But what Trend does, it gives you a guiding roadmap. It guides you in terms of what's been happening before, what's happening today, and where it could possibly go tomorrow. You have to plot that based on the 5 C's I gave you in my other video. If you don't watch the other video, please look for the 5C toolkit, the business model innovation video that I've shared with you. You need to look at that before you even understudy what this video is going to take you. Once you apply the 5 C's, then you'll be able to forecast your way tomorrow. But the key things is there's hindsight, there's insight, and there's foresight. Every brand that wants to innovate, every business that wants to grow, every person that thinks they can grow themselves, whether it's personal branding, whether it's business strategy, whether it's communication strategy, you need to apply those 3 key parameters: hindsight, insight, and foresight. And it's the foresight avenue that you begin to project to your customers, to your clients, that you can create monetization, because that is where they're really looking for you to help them. They know the history. They possibly know what's happening today even better than you, but they don't know tomorrow. So this video is about discovering tomorrow, and you can only do that with trends. You need to be able to understudy what's going to happen today, tomorrow, and what's next. You need to do that by learning strategy. Whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a creative director, whether you're a businessman with $1 billion fortune, every business wants to grow. Start with trends. Start with why. Start with trends. Start with why. Forecast. Design tomorrow. Let's talk strategy.